Omar-Mouallem, speaking on the rising status of cats.
This is my book. I'm not here to promote it, though. I put it up here to tell you a story. At the time that I was writing it, I had to claw and scratch to find 250 pages worth of true cat stories to tell cats who detect a fire or set an alarm clock or anything. And at the time, it was very difficult, but something has flipped, and now cats are everywhere. Have you noticed it? Social media happened. This is the keyboard cat. His name is Fatso. He's been dead for 25 years, but YouTube gave him a second life. I'm going to name some YouTube cats. You clap if you've heard them. The surprise cat kitty, Maru cat, the stalking cat. How about cat on a Roomba? Any cat on any Roomba. Social media has made it so prolific that I would hazard a guess there's more cat content out there than porn. You probably know this guy. He's the cheeseburger cat. He's not the original, though. The original came from 4chan, and it was so popular they created a civic holiday out of it called Catterdays. Now every day is Catterday because now we're breading, so our craze is getting crazier. For those that don't know this is the act of taking a piece of bread, cutting a hole in it, putting it gently over your cat's head, and taking a photo. 1,500 people have done this and posted it to breadedcats.com, including my fiance. And then there's this. My cat Darwin made this. You can see her in the bottom left corner. She made it with this, by the way. It's an iPad app. It's called Paint for Cats. It lets your cat create abstract works of art by tricking them into swatting at a digital mouse. The startup behind this, by the way, only makes apps for cats, and they've had 300,000 downloads. So how did cats climb the social media ladder? Some suspect that it comes down to plain old dog people, cat people politics. Dog people are out there in dog parks, much like this one, while cat people never leave their desktop, and they've taken over the internet. If that's true, big mistake, dog people. Now I think there's more to it than that. I think cats are inherently expressive, and I think that they have a dignity about them that makes their foibles hilarious, while dogs are already self-deprecating. So when they try to be funny, it's just desperate. There's been some successful dog memes, but mostly just fails. In the US, presidents famously humanize themselves with dogs, but our prime minister has populated 24 Sussex with foster kittens. I think it's perfect. I mean, he's fiercely independent, aloof, doesn't need voters' affection, but he can turn on the charm when he really needs it. So is it that cats, like Mr. Harper, are sometimes jerks? Is it that we experience a bit of schadenfreude when we humiliate them, much like this? I mean, why not? They're self-satisfied, they're skittish, narcissistic, self-entitled, overconfident. Now, aren't those the adjectives they used to describe my generation, our generation? So maybe that's it. Us Gen Yers empathize more with cats than your typical dog hero. I mean, when Mac Mail tweets that he's craving a cheeseburger, how is that any different? The difference is that he's not a cat. I'm not a cat. Not yet, anyway. The fact is, there's always been something really cool about cats. This is Fritz the cat from the 1970s. At the same time that McGruff the crime dog was telling kids to take a bite out of a crime, he was taking bites out of heroin bags. He was getting in shootouts, partying with prostitutes, Garfield, Felix, classic anti-heroes. Really, allurophilia, which is the unusual fondness of cats, has been around for millennia. Ancient Egyptians couldn't get enough of cats. They were mummified, their body sculptures, painted images would adorn their tombs so that even when people were dead, they could enjoy the pleasures of looking at kittens. Now, when I said that 4chan was the first lolcat, this is actually the first lolcat. The caption says, "What's delaying my dinner?" It came from 1903 to 1906. Photographer Harry Fries made a career out of dressing up animals, and it all started one day with one cat and one paper hat. Here's another historic lolcat. Many of you people know this one. This guy has been motivating office workers since the 1970s. Those people, you know, the ones with this and the calendar, you know, the Kathys in HR, you know her. They've become the equivalent of Arcade Fire fans who liked them before they were cool. Because now cats are so hip that it hurts. Miranda July's latest art film, The Future, was narrated by a rescue cat. This is from Saturday Night Live, Laser Cats. It spawned countless t-shirts, mostly ironic, by the way, memorabilia. And so now the tradition is media responding to cats. The craze is starting to spill into real life. Cat ownership is on the rise and outpacing dogs. There's 8.5 million cats in Canada and just 5 million dogs. After the recession, dog ownership took a bite, went down 3%. Cats, still rising. Obviously, recession-proof. Another reason is urbanization. There are more earthlings in cities today than ever before. Not only are cats more adaptive to condos and apartment livings, but I think that they're more suited to the lives of people who are commuting between work, daycare, sports practice. A cat clinician I spoke to told me of retirees who are downsizing to cats with their condos. The paradox, though, is that although they're rising in popularity, they're still ill-respected. Cats are least likely to get fixed, vaccinated, receive medical attention, and quite sadly, the most likely pet to be the victim of animal cruelty. Big reason for that is cats are cheap. 60% of people didn't pay a dime to own their cat. Now, that's no way to treat a creature that might save your life. This is the Canadian Avalanche Rescue Cat Association in Fernie. On the left, Steve Ruskay, in his hand, Toby. And Steve is training cats like Toby across Canada to save avalanche victims. And then there's this guy. This always gets the same reaction, right? Adoration, or disgust and then adoration. But this is Chase No Face. As you can see, she has no face. But you know what she does have? 18,000 Facebook fans. Not even Mayor Mandel has 18,000 Facebook fans. I looked it up. This is the face of the future. I want you to remember that face the next time you go on a ski trip, because that face might just save your life.